Hi guys, so let's start off by solving this problem here on financial maths. It reads as follows. At what annual interest rate, so we are looking for I, at what annual interest rate compounded quarterly should a lump sum be invested in order for it to be doubled in 6 years time, right? So what the question says is that, okay, fine, we are having a is equals to p into 1 plus I to the power of n, right? So this is a standard formula. How do you know that? We're told that it was compounded, right? So it's a compound formula. And it's compounded what? Quarterly, meaning that where there's I, just going to divide by 4, where there's n, you're going to multiply by 4, right? Cool. And we are told that there's 6 years here, so meaning that n is 6, right? So n is equal to 6 years, and we need I. We're looking for I. And what we're also told is that this investment is doubled. This double means the investment is double. So here at A, you're just going to say 2p because p is the investment, right? So basically, just going to write 2p is equals to p into 1 plus I over 4 to the power of 4 times 6, right? And the p will cancel out because they're going to divide out, and you remain with 2 is equals to into 1 plus I over 4 to the power of 24. Because we're looking for I, just going to multiply by the power of 1 over 24, multiply here, so this is 2, right? And then you multiply by 1 over 24, and then you have 2 to the power of 1 over 24 is equals to 1 plus I over 4. Transpose the 1 to the other side, you have 2 to the power of 1 over 24 minus 1 is equals to I over 4. Then you multiply by 4 both sides, multiply by 4. You have your I being equals to 4 times into 2 to the power of 1 over 24 minus 1 like this, right? So your I is going to be 11 point. Obviously, you're going to get a decimal number, which is 0.11721, right? Then you multiply by 100, you get your I being equals to 11.721%, right? So this is the interest rate for the first question. Now let's get down to the next question. If you didn't understand, please let me know in the comment section. So the second question is very important because now you need to be able to tell which annuity is this, right? So we have two annuities. We have the present value annuity and we have the future value annuity, right? And the future value annuity, we normally use it to when we talk about investments or we're talking about sinking funds and all of that. And then the the present value annuity, we use it for loans, right? And the future value, we use it for investments, right? So what I need us to look at this question is to first identify this annuity. What is it? So it says the statement reads as follows: Simon buys furniture of the value of 10,000. He borrows, so immediately we know what's happening. He borrows the money on the 1st of February from a financial institution, from ABSA or FNB, whatever, at this interest rate of 9.5% compounded monthly, agrees to make monthly payments of 450 rands. An agreement of the loan allows him to pay equal monthly payments from the 1st of August, right? So by reading this question, you can tell that this is actually a present value annuity. Why? Because it talks of a loan. A loan was taken by Simon to buy this furniture, right? So whenever we talk of a loan, we know we're talking of present value annuity, right? But if we're talking of an investment, we are talking about the future value annuity, an investment or a bond, things like that, right? So let's just solve this question. So 7.2.1 says calculate the amount owing to the financial institution on the 1st of July. Remember that Simon borrowed this amount of money of 10,000 rand, and he actually borrowed it on the 1st of February, right, 2020, and was given this interest rate at a compounded monthly, right, and agreed to pay 450. When was he supposed to start paying? On the 1st of August 2022. So now they're asking us how much would the loan be. Remember that when you pay a loan, you must pay 1 month after granting the loan. That's something we've just learned, right, recently. when you're dealing with present value annuities. You are to pay up the loan 1 month after being granted the loan. So in this case, Simon was granted the loan on the 1st. So I'm just going to produce a timeline, because it's important for us to have a timeline to be able to tell. 1st of Feb, right, 2020. So he was granted the loan here. Let me just say, right, loan granted, right? So granted the loan the 1st of February 2020, and we are being told that we all want to know how much does he owe on the 1st of July. So if you say this is the 1st of July 2020, right? So we want to know how much does he owe, right? The loan. I'm just going to say P. But we know very well that he must start paying on the 1st of August 2020. So because the payment is not 1 month after the granting of the loan, which means there's going to be an interest earned by this loan, right? So instead of him paying the 10,000 rand, it's going to be more, because he's not paying 1 month after being granted the loan, which means this interest rate is going to apply, right? So what's going to happen is this. Want to know the amount of the loan on the July 1st, right? We need to calculate the months between that. So we're going to say, okay, fine, from February we have March, right? I'm just going to write M for March. And then March is April, right? So it's April, and then May, and then June, right? And then come to July. So let's count the months between. So you're just going to say, okay, from February to March, that's 1. I'm just going to write 1. From March to April, that's 2. April to May, that's 3. May to June, that's 4. And then from June to July, that's 5. So that's 5 months, right? So we know very well that N is equal to 5 months, right? 5 months, cool. And then we're going to use our formula of A is equals to P into 1 plus I to the power of N. And what was the loan? It was 10,000 rands, right? So just going to write 10,000 rands into 1 plus, what's the interest rate? It's 9.5%. So we're just going to write 9.5% divided by compounded what? Monthly, which is 12, right? Because it's compounded monthly, which is 12, and the power that you're going to write, it's in months, so you don't have to multiply it by 12. Just going to write the 5 here. 5 months, right? 5 months, and then you punch through your calculator to get the answer. I'm getting 10,402.15. So this is the amount of the loan that must be repaid by Simon, right? Okay, cool. So I'm just going to write it here because we're going to need it in the next question. So it's 10,402.15. So this is the loan. Cool. We are done with the 7.2.1. Now we go to 7.2.2, right? So as I said earlier on, it's important for us to note the difference between the present value annuity and the future value annuity, so that you don't get to use the wrong formula when you solve these problems here. Anyways, now let's get down to the second part of this question, or the second part of this problem. Says that how many months will it take Simon to repay this loan? Remember, the loan is this amount, and we want to know how many months will this person pay this loan. Remember, the formula for anything to do with loans is PV is equals to X into 1 minus 1 plus I to the power of minus N, right, divided by I, right, of which the loan we know it's 10,000, so it's going to be 10,402.15 is equals to, we know it's going to pay up 450 into 1 minus into 1 plus the interest rate, it's 9.5% all over 12 because it's compounded monthly, minus N, right? Minus N, because we're looking for the number of payments. How long will it take to repay the loan? And then we divide by 9.5% over 12. Now, so we're just going to cross multiply here. We have 10,402.15 times 9.5% over 12 divided by, I'm just going to divide by this 450, so it's 450 is equals to 1 minus into 1 plus 9.5% over 12 to the power of negative n, right? transpose this one to the other side. We have 10,402.15 multiplied by 9.5% over 12 all over 450 minus 1 is equals to minus into 1 plus 9.5% over 12 to the power of negative n. You see, I'm not just punching through, because you don't want to punch prematurely, so you need to make sure that you just continue with your numbers and punch towards the end. Right? So if you punch this into your calculator, you're going to get I think it's negative 0.8169999213, right, equals to 1 plus, so it's negative 1 plus 9.5% over 12 to the power of negative n, right? And then we're going to use our log, so it's going to be negative n is equals to log of our base of 1 plus 9.5% over 12. And obviously this negative is going to divide this negative, so meaning it's just going to be 0.8169999213, like this. Remember, this is negative n is equals to, and then my n value, I'm going to get n being equals to 25.63. I just rounded it off, which you can approximate it to 26 months. So this is the final answer for this question. So this is going to be critical for the next question. So let me write it here on top. So it's n being equals to 25.63, which n approximates to 26 months. Cool. So now let's get down to the next question, which is very important, by the way. It always appears. How to find the outstanding balance. It's really critical that you know it, so that you don't miss out on free marks, right? So now we're just gonna do the last question of this problem here, which is saying, what is the outstanding balance, the balance of the loan, immediately after Simon has made the 25th payment? So he has made the 25th payment, meaning from the first payment up to the 25th, he has paid. Now they say they want to know the balance after the 25th. So because we found, in the previous question, we found, remember that the previous question wanted the number of months that it will take for him to pay up. And we were given an approximation when we found it. We found to be 25.63. These are the number of months that it will take him to pay up the loan. Now comes this question here, says that they want the balance outstanding after the 25th payment. We know it's going to be done by the 25.63 payment. But we want the outstanding balance after the 25th payment. So basically we want the outstanding balance at 0.63, right? So you're just going to say 25.63 minus 25, right? And then you get that. So we want to know how much money is left at 0.63. So you can use your present value annuity. Actually, there's two methods to find the balance outstanding, but I just use this one because it's simpler for me. So it's 1 minus into 1 plus I minus n all to the power of, okay, fine. Excuse me, so you're just going to write down your 450 into 1 minus and then 1 plus, and then your interest rate divided by 12, right, because it's compounded monthly. And then the n is going to be negative 0.63, right? And then we divide by 9.5% over 12. And then the PV, which is actually the balance outstanding, you should get something like 281.68. So this is my approximate number or balance outstanding for this problem here. So let's have a look at this question here. Question 6 of financial maths. 6.1 reads as follows. Janet invests a lump sum of 5,000 Rand into a savings account for a period of 2 years. The investment earns an interest rate of 10% compounded quarterly, right? So 6.1.1, what is the quarterly interest rate for Janet? So it's just 1 mark, right? Quarterly interest rate, just going to write down your 10% per annum, right? It's compounded what? Quarterly, so you divide by 4. So that would be your answer, right? So you're just going to punch that into your calculator and you get your answer. And then 6.1.2, calculate the amount in Janet's savings account at the end of 2 years. Remember that the investment was 5,000 rand, and N is equal to 2 years, right? And the interest rate is 10% per annum compounded quarterly, right? So it's 1/4 for quarterly. And since it's compounded, we know we're using a compound formula, 1 plus I to the power of n, and then it's 5,000 rand into 1 plus the interest rate of 10%, divide by 4 to the power of 4 times 2. Punch this into your calculator, you should get 6,092.0145, right? So this is the amount of Janet's savings account. Now, let's go to 6.2. 6.2 is a bit tricky because you can easily make a mistake with it. I'll tell you why. So the statement reads as follows: Sihle inherits 800,000 rand he inherits 800,000 rands. Invest his entire inheritance into a fund, right, that earns him an interest rate of 14% compounded monthly. At the end of each month, he withdraws 10,000 rand from the fund. You see, so he does this continuously, right? So now maybe let's say I ask you the question, which annuity you're going to use here? Is it the present value annuity or is it the future value annuity, and why? Maybe ask yourself that question before we solve this problem. So 6.2.1, how many withdrawals of 10,000 rand will Sihle be able to make from his fund? So what I need you guys to note is, as I said earlier in the previous questions of financial maths, present value annuity is normally used for loans, and future value annuity is used for investments, right? So in this case, you can see that this person here inherited 800,000 rand. You know, when you inherit money, for whatever reasons I won't mention, you just got that money, didn't work for it, right? An inheritance, you don't normally work for an inheritance. So this person just received inheritance and decided to put it in a bank as a form of investment, right? But now the problem is, this Sihle is making withdrawals of 10,000 rand from this fund, right? Each month, as it states here, each month this person makes withdrawals of 10,000 rand. So now it doesn't necessarily make it a good investment, kinda, because it's almost like this person is borrowing 10,000 every month, because it would make sense if this person was just taking out the interest made by the money, right, by the investment. So for the fact that this person, even though it's not stated, this person borrows because he or she, because Sihle can be a male or female. Oh, it's a he. Okay. Sihle withdraws 10,000 rand, right? So the fact that he withdraws 10,000 rand, and this is more of a borrowing. You're borrowing this 10,000 rand. You see, because you are using your inheritance. You have more money in your bank, so borrowing 10,000 rand is not a problem. That's what I'm trying to say. So how many withdrawals will this person make? So that's why it's critical for me to state that this problem here, we're going to use a present value annuity. Why? Because as much as this is an investment into an account, there's withdrawals that are made, which now converts this inheritance into more like a loan. You're literally borrowing. You're taking out money from the bank. You see, using what you have, using this 800,000 rand, you already have that money, but you're taking out 10,000 rand. At least if you're taking profit, as I said. So it's going to be PV is equals to X into 1 minus 1 plus I to the power of minus N. But anyways, I would like for someone who's doing accounting to explain this. Probably they will explain it better. So yes, then we know that PV is going to be our 800,000 rand, right? Remember, we want to know how many withdrawals, and withdrawals we're talking of N, which is the number of payments, right? So we're just going to put the value, this one here, and then here at X we're going to put this 10,000, and then at I we're going to put the interest rate that was given as 14% compounded monthly, right? So just by substituting, you're going to say 800,000 rand is equals to 10,000 rand into 1 minus into 1 plus the interest, which is 14% compounded monthly, so it's divided by 12 to the power of negative n, right? And then we divide by, okay, so this division is only for this section here, so it's 14% over 12. So do your normal calculations, you should get n being equals to 233.43, which approximate to 233, right? So these are the number of payments that will be made. Please do try out to find it. And then now the second question says that, or should I say this 6.2.2, it says exactly 4 years after the initial investment, right? Sisha decides to withdraw all the remaining money from his account to use his deposit for what? For a house. So now the first question says that what is the value of Sisha's deposit to the closest friend? So what you need to note is that in 4 years time, what would be the interest that this money of 800,000 rand has made? Go to say A is equals to P into 1 plus I to the power of n. We know that we used 800,000 rand as a form of investment, so it's 1 plus the interest rate, it's 14% compounded monthly, which is 12, right? And then now we're just gonna you're just gonna put in your n here, which is 48. Remember, 4 years, then you multiply by the compounded what? Monthly, right? So it's 48. And then yeah, you're just gonna find out the money that was made, or that has an included interest in it. So if you punch this into your calculator, you should be getting an answer of 1,396,005.535, right? And then now we want to calculate the amount that will remain when this person continuously pays or withdraws the 10,000, right? 10,000 rands. So we're just gonna say FV is equals to X into 1 plus I to the power of n minus 1 over I, right? So we're just gonna plug in everything, the 10,000 rand, right, into 1 plus the 14% over 12 to the power of 48, right? 48 minus 1, 14% over 12. And then your FV, you should get an answer of 638,577.36, right? So this is what we got in the previous question. We got A being equals to 1,396,005.535, right? So that's the first solution. And the second solution, we got FB being equals to 638,577.36, right? So these are the two answers that we got, and we want to note how much will be there after all this has been done, right? So what you're going to do, you're just going to find the difference of these numbers, right? You're just going to find the difference. Just going to say, okay, find the remaining balance is equals to, you say 1,396,005.535 minus your 638,577.36, right? and you'll get let's just punch in the calculator. You're gonna get 757,428.1749, right? So this is the amount that will remain. Now 6.2.2b states that CHS deposit is exactly 30% of the purchase price. What is the purchase price of the house? Excuse me. So we now know that the purchase price is 700,000. This one here. So what you're gonna do is this: when I say the 30% that this person is going to pay, right? Multiply by the x that we don't know should give us an amount of 757, which is just this one here, 428.1749. Then you find your x using division, cross multiplication. Should get x being equals to 2,524,760. So this is the value of x for this problem here. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, suggestions, or comments, please write them down in the comment section below. Otherwise, please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to click that bell button.